Harold says with a an AI emoji of Detective Ange Postecoglou.
He's discovering the leak.
Exactly, trying to find out who that leak is in the camp. It was an interesting press conference because they asked him about, why does... I can't remember what the question was, but he's saying, yeah, there's definitely a leak inside the club regarding like injury news and on match days and stuff. And he says he's got a good idea of who that leak is.
Who do we think it is? Put it in the chat. Who do we think the leak is? Put it in the chat. I want to know your theories. Some people said it's definitely Werner. Someone said definitely Werner. Someone said, another person said definitely Mason. Mason gunning for Ange's job, so putting some leaks out.
Very well could be Mason.
He's exactly trying to sow the seeds of doubt so that he can come in, swoop in. Another one said it's Fabio. It's Don Fabio. He wants Ange out.
Do you reckon in Ange's office, he's got like a picture of everyone in the club, like on the wall, just like crossing everyone as he goes.
A lot of people saying that the Odebear leaked news yesterday was Ange playing 4D chess, kind of leaking the news to see who would leak, to see where it would appear, and now he knows where the leak is and who it is after that news.
Well, Paul O'Keefe reported it.
Yeah, Paul knows that. He knows where the leak is. He's getting the news from the leak. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe we'll come out. We'll see who gets fired in the near future. Maybe it's Scott Munn. Maybe Munn is the league. That's why he's out of the door. Vinay's coming in. Maybe it's Munn.
Lily White Rose tweeted out from Only One PK, Fabio Paratici at the game, sitting with the legends there yesterday. There's David Howes, Martin Chivers, Mickey Hazard and Graham Roberts. And a few seats down is Fabio Paratici classic on his phone.
I thought you were going to say who that guy was in front of them. I don't know who that is. But Fabio always on his phone there. Always on his phone.
Not with the famous earpiece in though.
No. Well, we can't see his other ear, so can't rule it out. There does seem to be a barrier there between him and the legend. So is he there as a legend or is he there because there's something else going on? What do you think he's back in the picture here? Apparently they say he does attend regularly. He does attend matches, regularly. But is he consulting? Is he just taking a look at the football? Is he back in action? Are we going to see? We know that the deal with Milan is on the rocks at the moment. So maybe this is an indication that maybe
the Don is back home, people.
Or is he just a club legend? Is he just a club? He plays there with the legends now. He's a club legend. He sits there alongside Graham Roberts, Chivers, Hazard, and Howes.
Yeah, not so much of a legend because he's 2 seats away from them. He's not in their camp yet, but he's getting there. Maybe by next season he'll be 1 seat along.
Maybe the fact that he convinced Conte to come and got Romero, that's legendary status in Levy's book.
Next up, Mari saying someone from the Frankfurt staff going to Son. He's really loved by many.
There you go. Everyone wants a piece of Son.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if they work together at like Hamburg or something.
Yeah, maybe. Squawker says Rodrigo Bentancur's game in numbers, most possession 1, which was 10, most duels 1, which was 9, most tackles 1, 4, most interceptions 4, most fouls 1, 2, most shots 2 as well. Completed 51 out of his 54 passes. Top performance from Rodrigo yesterday.
Yeah, and it was really great to see him back in that kind of form because a lot of question marks about him, and obviously it's not all is convinced just off the back of one game, but it was really great to see him in a big game perform this well, show what he's capable of. And if we can perform like that more regularly, then I think a lot of people are going to be happy about the talk of a new contract.
Yeah. Sean at THFC at Suffering Spurs says, thought we were brilliant tonight. Best performance for a long time. Could have easily have had 4 or 5. Their backup keeper had a Tim Krul type of game. Think Johnson should have come off a lot earlier. But other than that, you can't really fault manager or players. All to play for, come on you Spurs. I mean, I think it was the best performance in a while. There's no doubting that. I do think the Liverpool performance was probably a bit better than that. I think it was more dominant. But look, the only thing that we can do is hope for better performances, and that's exactly what it was. I do think Spurs being brilliant was a bit of an overstatement, but it was a good performance.
Yeah, it was good, and it was a lot better than we've seen, and definitely a lot more cohesion in the team, especially in that second half. I think it's fairly similar to maybe like performances in the second half against City. Probably better. I would say it's probably even better than when we played RZ. I would say I think we're probably better in this game, even though RZ we won. We're probably even better in this game.
I don't think we were that great against Alkmaar. You know what I mean?
I think we deserved to win, but yeah, it wasn't like the most amazing performance. I think this was probably a lot better. Definitely, I think even better than we were on Sunday against Hampton.
This was the most amazing performance either. It was good in spurts, you know what I mean? Like for a 15, 20-minute period in the second half, we were very good. But if you take the whole 90 minutes, it wasn't like, I don't think it was a brilliant performance.
Brilliant is probably a bit of an exaggeration, but good. It was good.
It was good.
And which is a lot better than what we've seen. I think it was better than decent. I think it was good.
It's because of how poor we've been over the last, pretty much since that Liverpool first leg. It makes this performance look a lot better than maybe it was.
I think we're all looking for signs of improvement as well when we've been so basically bereft of them for such a long time. So I think definitely when we see a good performance, maybe it gets overstated, and that's probably true. But I think when you look at the context of the game, Frankfurt had very little, and we had a lot of chances, and that's the truth. So I think on that, I think we played some really nice football at times. So I think on that basis, it was a very encouraging performance against a good opposition. So that was a real positive. But the fact we just didn't get over the line is obviously that's what will be remembered.
Jacko says we are better than Frankfurt. Unfortunately, the result doesn't tell us which team was better tonight. We deserve to be at least 3-1 up. We need a huge performance in Germany. But after this game, I have confidence that we'll be able to beat them at their ground. Come on, you Spurs. And yeah, look, it's going to be a very different game out in Germany. That's the reality. And we needed to have that kind of result, what he's talking about, a 3-1 result, to make me real confident that we can go to Germany and go through to the semi-finals. But having said that, I'm actually more confident going to Germany and putting a performance now than I was before the game.
And let's just hope as well that, you know, players like Bergvall and some of the younger players who obviously played in like Galatasaray and maybe even at Anfield will have learned from that experience, because we obviously definitely crumbled on those atmospheres on that occasion.
There was also a very young team out in Galatasaray as well.
Yeah, so let's hope they come into this game with those experiences behind them, and kind of let's hope we've learned from them and can handle the atmosphere better than we did on those occasions. And not let's hope we don't really play the occasion, but let's play the opponent and play the game. And if we do that, we definitely have a good chance.
Yeah. Billy T says the ref was shit. Should have capitalised on that second half spell, and poor finishing ultimately cost us. Changes should have been quicker too. We're not dead yet though. Yids.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people were fearing going into this game, that would be dead before the tie. But
it feel like that after 6 minutes.
Yeah, it did. But also, yeah, I agree. The ref, man. I mean, I've said a lot about the ref, but he was so bad. It was really frustrating to watch how bad that ref was. But I think it's a good summation. I think from Billy T.
Yeah. Nathan Clark says decent performance, frustrating result. And yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Pretty much.
HLTCO says, I love watching Lucas Bergvall play. He's so brave and confident on the ball. For someone who's still a teenager, he's technically superb. And you know, with Lucas Bergvall, like, it feels like no occasion. I mean, you look at that Galatasaray game, obviously, which like he was just kind of getting his first kind of minutes in a Spurs shirt. But in this second half of the season, it seems as though like no occasion, no ground, no opponent he gets fazed by.
Yeah, I think probably he's the one who's definitely learned from that game against Galatasaray, where it was a new experience for him to play that in that atmosphere at that kind of level as well. And he had a really tough day that day. But ever since then, he's whatever ground away from him. I remember he made his came on the pitch against Rangers away in a tough atmosphere and was absolutely brilliant. Even came on, I know we lost the game, but he came on against Liverpool, I remember, in that Carabao Cup game, and was really good, even getting man of the match in the first leg. And he just really hasn't had a bad game pretty much ever since in the second half of the season. He's been phenomenal, and it's scary to think how good he's going to be, you know, in a few years' time, because he's so good now. And you know, if he can play like he did in this second half of the season for the whole season next year, you know, no doubt he'll probably be winning like Young Player of the Year for sure and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. Cody Mack said, well, you know what? You talk about Young Player of the Year. He's going to be up there running for our Player of the Year for sure. You've got Kulusevski there. Yeah. Like, apart from Kulusevski and Bergvall, like, who else is going to be up for our Player of the Year?
Yeah, Spence. It's hard to say who else.
And none of these guys have had an impact throughout the whole season as well.
Yeah, because obviously so many of our players have been injured. It's a tough one. I guess Brennan, with his top goal scorer, I think he'll probably be up for it. At the moment, maybe Maddison, Porro maybe.
I think one of those three players wins it. I think Kulusevski will win it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kulusevski Player of the Year, Bergvall Young Player of the Year. I think that's the way it's going to go probably. Archie Gray will be up for Young Player of the Year as well. But anyway, Cody Mack says, if the goal is to progress, then a draw at home simply is not a good result. However, at least we played some good football tonight. One of the better performances we've had in a long time. Will be a very difficult in the second leg. That's spot on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was just the hope I take away from that game is the way we played. And it's something that a lot of people question whether we're still capable of. And, everyone keeps saying we were regressing and all this stuff. We're getting worse and worse. The players have come back and we're only getting worse. Well, at least there was signs there that that's not totally true.
Yeah. And last but not least, Seb Martin says, so frustrating, so wasteful. Can't believe Mickey missed that at the end. Thought we were decent and think we are the better side. Left a lot out there. Got to believe, though. And yeah, I think that's a good point as well. I mean, the players put in one hell of an effort yesterday, and you saw they really want to do well in this competition. That was all for everyone to see yesterday.
Yeah, and I was having this discussion with Danny yesterday, and he was getting frustrated that Ange said he couldn't ask any more from the boys, and he was like, oh, you shouldn't be saying that, and he's you can only say that if we won, otherwise are you saying that the most we can do is a draw? And I'm like, look, we had the chances, we just didn't put them away. It's not through lack of effort, and I just think that you could see they put everything into that game, and we tried to put it in the back of the net. I'm sure they didn't try and miss. It didn't happen. But I think they did give everything.
Just weren't with us.
Look, they gave everything.
I think sometimes there's a tendency to just attack everything that's said all the time. And, I've definitely done that in the past. But I think when you put in a performance like that where it's better than what we've seen for the past 3 months, and it's definitely going in the right direction. And you just got to give it credit, and you got to call out what you see that's not right, and we have done that today. But I think the performance was a positive one. It's just a shame that the result didn't match it.
Exactly.
So yeah, that is how the internet did react to the game yesterday.